Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Investor Talk. We've got Tom Drivas with us, the CEO and Director of Appia Rare Earth and Uranium Corp. And we welcome Tom to the program and happy to have you and lots to get through, 2 countries and 2 continents. Morning, Tom.
Good morning, Darren. Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.
We'll start, I guess, in country number one, Brazil. Tell us about the Ultra project there and Appia's involvement and a little bit of history on how you got to Brazil and why Brazil and all the new updates in Brazil.
Darren, about 2 or 3 years ago, I sensed that Brazil would be a very exciting place, a very good place to look for rare earths, especially ionic clay rare earths. And at that time, looked for some interesting projects down there, and Appia picked up an opportunity. Had found an opportunity there, and we did a deal with a Brazilian group to earn 70% of a project down there. It was an ionic clay project. We spent the first year we spent about $1 million US, and we came up with our first resource, 4301 resource on that project. Then the following year we did some more work, and we advanced the project. We came up with in addition to the ionic clay rare earths there, we found out there's also hard rock rare earths underneath the ionic clay in terms of carbonatitic rare earths. And as I mentioned, Brazil, we sensed that it would be one of the better projects to do to look for rare earths, and we were right. This project that we got involved. It has both ionic clay, has also hard rock rare earths. It's in a not ideal position location. We're basically right on the highway, right on the power infrastructure. We basically about 15 minutes driving on paved roads from a 30,000 people mining town. And we have the right rare earths. We have the magnet rare earths and the heavy rare earths, and the project has good desorption, good amount of rare earths comes out basically from the ionic clay. So ideal project. Late last year, we did a deal with a U.S. Private company, Ultra Rare Earths. Where they came in and invested $10 million US. They financed us to up to 50 cents a share. We did a financing on us, and they also undertook to spend the money to get the project, the ionic clay, into a pre-feasibility. So since then, we've had about 9-10 drills working on it. This thing happened last week, last few days, before we reached the pre-feasibility. Appia and our Brazilian partner converted our interest in 25% each into 25% equity of Ultra, and Ultra is fully responsible in developing this project and moving the project forward to the next stage. In the meantime, Ultra completed a SK 1300 report. It hasn't been filed yet. We're excited about the results. That's on the hard rock part, and they've got 6 drills, and they're planning to complete some 950 drill holes, RC holes, within the next month or so, and hopefully, and their plan is by August, September to complete a resource on the Ionic clay, and then move forward into the pre-feasibility and advancing the project.
And for those of us that may not know a lot about Brazil, drilling season, can it be year-round? There's rainy season in Brazil, I understand. And tell us a little bit about local labor and your relationship with the local government there. How's all that?
We're very excited to be involved down there in Brazil because before we started, we met with the local government, with the provincial government, and they're all in favor of us working there. We're not in the Amazon. We're basically just about 2 hours driving away from the capital of Goiás state, Goiânia. We're about 5 hours from Brasilia, the capital of Brazil. It's Goiás state is what Saskatchewan is to Canada. It's basically an area where a state that produces agricultural and also a lot of farming, cows and all this. So we don't have. We've done environmental based studies. There's no real environmental issues. There's no native issues, and we've got the government and the people, cheering for us. So that's sort of and we can drive to it. 15 minutes from a mining, from a 30,000 people mining town. People leave at home and come and drill and go back to work. No camps, no helicopters or planes. So ideal place in terms of labor in Canada. It's really hard to, the last few years, because the industry is so busy, it's really hard to find people. Down there you can find, geologists, you can find, and you know what? The good news is that at a fraction of the cost, we can, of what we pay here. Very ideal place to work.
Okay, now we're going to swing ourselves over to Canada and the continent of North America and not South America. Tell us about Alces Lake and what's Appia doing there, and specifically news coming soon about a drill program for 2026 any day now.
Well, Alces Lake is basically in the northern Saskatchewan, located in northern Saskatchewan, about 30 kilometers northeast of Uranium Sea. It's a property that we have been working there for quite a few years, 3-4 years now. And what it is a high-grade rare earths and monazite, high-grade monazite. It's one of a kind project, because we don't see anywhere in North America and maybe even the rest of the world. We can't see over chunks of monazite, over 80% monazite right on surface, containing about over 50% rare earths. So there's a lot of work that we did there, and there's a lot of mineralization everywhere. High grade rare earths on surface or near surface, and now what we're doing is we plan a drilling program. We actually mobilize over there. We have a year out camp, and we're going to start to drill anytime within the next 6-7 days, basically. The plan is during the last couple of years, we compile all the information that we have from drilling, from geophysics, and we wanted to see if we can really extend the mineralization at depth. So we did a couple of surveys, an airborne gravity survey, a ground gravity survey, over some 9 areas, target areas that we picked up from the ground, from airborne gravity. We follow up ground gravity. We compile all the information, and based on our geologists and our geophysicists, they think that the mineralization could extend down to 1,200 meters. But for this program here, we're going to test a number of those targets down to 500 meters, 3 to 500 meters. So if we can really demonstrate that the mineralization continues down to, that level, we can. I think it would be a game changer for us, because we can, really demonstrate some size. We've got grade, we've got the right rare earths, and most importantly is we're in Saskatchewan where there's a processing plant. The Saskatchewan government through the Saskatchewan Research Council have spent over $200 million building a processing plant, a rare earth processing plant that would be processing monazite, and there's a lot of synergies there. So we this drilling program will basically, it's important for us because, and it will be very exciting if we can really, open up the mineralization at depth.
I'm glad you brought up drilling program because for the third year in a row, Appia has been awarded a grant by the government of Saskatchewan in terms of going towards drilling. Can you tell everyone a little bit about that grant and how you apply for it and how you got it?
Saskatchewan, it's one of the better mining or exploration jurisdiction to work in Canada and actually even from worldwide. So once you spend money on drilling or exploration, you can apply to get some of that money back. And obviously Appia has been exploring there for the last 2-3 years. So every year we get a portion of the money that we spend there back. So this year we were able to get some money back. Last year the same, and the year before.
That's great. Other Saskatchewan relationships, the Fond du Lac Deneusilene First Nation group. What's your relationship with them and how is that going?
We have an excellent relationship with the Fond du Lac First Nations. We've been there for a number of years. We sometimes we operate from Fond du Lac whenever we can. We've got people working for us as drillers or camp people and doing exploration. So excellent relationship with the First Nations. Appia has.
And Appia also has a camp and a setup in Elliot Lake. We don't hear as much about that, but tell us about the Elliot Lake uranium and rare earth.
Well, before we leave Saskatchewan, Appia has another 4 uranium properties in the Saskatchewan. That's more that's in addition to Alces Lake, which is a rare earth project. We're quite excited about one of them, and you're going to hear more about it. The other side project. It's right in the basin. It's very close to the Fond du Lac First Nations, just south of there, and we're so excited about this project because the geophysical signatures are identical to or very close to other major deposits, uranium deposits in Saskatchewan, like the Next Chance and Denison's and Uranus and Chemicals, major deposits. So over the years, there were a lot of work done, a lot of geophysics, and we compiled all this. We did some more geophysics. We, airborne gravity. We just finished a ground MT survey, and we're just compiling all this information, interpreting all this information into a 2 and 3D. And we mentioned we had the preliminary information from the MT survey, and we have some very exciting drill targets potential there. So in the next little while, you're going to hear a lot about that because we're excited. So I think it's one of a kind. It's probably one of the better projects, exploration projects for uranium in the basin. So now come to Ontario, Elliot Lake. We have a large property over there. We've done quite a bit of work. Appia started, that was our first project. And we have a NI 4301 resource. We've got about 55 million pounds of inferred and indicated resource. And we've got about 180 million pounds of rare earths in the same area. And there's also historical resources there that can be, the 4301 resource can be increased easily. All the infrastructure is in place for, where Elliot Lake has produced over the years over 300 million pounds of uranium, and also it's the only area in Canada that ever produced commercially rare earths. So in addition to the uranium, we has produced rare earths. So about Appia, I'm very excited because we've got we're quite unique basically because we're probably the only company that I know of that has 3 different projects in 3 different jurisdictions, and all our projects are hosted in rocks that can be in rare earth that can be extracted. The rare earths can be extracted with known technology, so it's not sort of we're unique in that way, and I think it's going to be a very exciting year. We're going to be working on Alces. We're going to be working on other side, and our Brazilian project through Ultra is moving forward. So it will be a very exciting year for us.
It sounds like it. There's a lot of action coming up the next 6 months. This action doesn't happen with a smile, though. You've got to be financed and cashed up to some degree. How's Appia on that front?
Appia is actually well financed. We've got about $5 million in the bank. It's all working capital, basically, so we're basically planning to spend about $1.5 million on Alces, and we'll have enough funds to run the company for the next little while. So I think we're well financed for the time being.
We'd like to thank Tom Drivas for joining us this morning, President and CEO of Appia. Tom, thank you again. The website down below, you can see all the information that we may not have covered today. And thanks again, Tom, for joining us. I hope to speak soon.
Thank you, Darren. Appreciate it.